All right, everyone. I think you guys can hear me now. Hopefully the stream started. Sorry about that. I was just actually waiting for YouTube to load the stream up. It was taking just a little bit longer, but anyway, we got past that. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. It's nice to finally be back on here and be able to chat with you guys live. It's been, I don't know, a few weeks, maybe about a month since I was on here last. So it's funny, I don't feel rusty, but it's kind of a new feeling to me, almost starting this live stream up again today. So it's going to be interesting. It should be good, though. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If someone can just let me know in chat, so you guys are filling in here. Thank you so much for everyone joining today. We're going to have an interesting topic. It's going to be a nice discussion, nice intro back. I want you guys to make sure that, you guys can get your questions answered. We're going to be talking a little bit about some of my favorite foods. But again, you guys can always talk and ask questions related to some of the foods that you guys are interested in, and even weight loss today. Hey, Robin, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for joining today. If there's anyone else here in chat, of course, let me know where you guys are from and where you're listening from. I'm from the western part of the world here. We're in Canada. I think I was letting you guys know last time. So good old Canada here. But it should make for an interesting discussion today. Some of my favorite foods. But as I said, this is sort of a nice introduction back to the live streams. And like I said, if someone can just let me know that you can hear me loud and clear, that would be amazing. Lulu, thank you so much for joining today. From Mexico. Great. Thank you so much for letting me know. Hello, Mexico. Great to have you, like I said. It's good. Okay. Great, guys. So we'll continue on here. Now that I have time to get back into live streaming, I really want to focus on it, and I really want to go in a couple directions. So some of the ones, we're going to talk about some of the, health issues, which we've talked about. We've talked a little bit about, heart health, liver health, a little bit of every topic, to be honest. But I want to start breaking them down a little bit and really start focusing on, specific things as well, because we've started doing that a little bit with our cholesterol discussions and, somewhat of our blood pressure discussions, talking about heart health and things like that. I want to continue to do that with nutrition, though, and diet, and start talking about certain diets and maybe even certain foods to a certain degree, or even certain macronutrients. Like we can break down protein, vegetables, things like that. That's what I'm going to be doing today, some of my favorites, and we're going to be talking about those macronutrients today. So that's sort of the direction that we want to go. I'm going to do at least 2 live streams per week. So I'm thinking right now it's going to be Wednesdays and either Saturday and Sunday. And I'll definitely make those a priority. It might be more. It probably won't be less. I'll be getting probably daily videos up to you guys as well. Thank you so much for checking out the raspberry video today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Your cinnamon. Oh, I'm sure I would. I'm a big fan of cinnamon. I have Ceylon cinnamon pretty much every day in my diet. So cinnamon is a huge part of my diet. I would probably very much enjoy cinnamon there. But yeah, I have cinnamon in my diet. It's one of the spices I actually add into my my smoothie along with turmeric. What are my qualifications, Robin? So as I've always said, and what I'll answer on stream in or on the videos in the comment section and things like that, my qualifications are just coming from someone, and I make it very clear, it's not coming as someone who is working as a doctor or in the medical field or anything like that. I do work with clients with weight loss and health and things like that, but where my qualifications come from is someone who's been researching and studying this for more than 15 years and making YouTube videos on this topic for about 8 years now, and thousands of videos up on the channel. And I think we're getting to almost 100 live streams. I'd have to count them, but 100 discussions based on these foods and health issues and things like that. But as I always say, make sure you discuss with your medical practitioner as well, and I mentioned that in videos also. Sorry, you're not able to understand my accent. Is the accent strong? Is it the Canadian accent? Robin, where are you from? hopefully other people can understand the accent and it's not too strong. But that's funny. I haven't heard that yet, Robin. But the accents are different for everyone. So hopefully you can make out some of what I'm sort of putting out here today for you guys. But that's the schedule. It's going to be at least 2 times a week for the live streams. I appreciate all of the support that you guys have given. And not only coming into the live streams, but also with viewing the videos, leaving your comments, all of the thumbs up. Thank you so much. I see there's already 6 thumbs up on this live stream right now. And we've only been going for a few minutes. India, very nice. That's great, Robin. There's quite a few listeners and quite a few viewers, to be honest, from India on this channel. So that's great to have you in here. So let's talk a little bit about Lulu. That's great. Thank you very much for the feedback. And if anyone else is in there, don't be afraid to say hi or anything like that and let me know where you're listening from. It's always great. I love the interaction. So let's talk a little bit about some of my favorite foods, guys, and then we can equate this into weight loss just a little bit. Right now, I guess the point of today's discussion isn't really to focus on foods that are going to help with weight loss, but we can discuss how you're going to lose weight, some foods that could help with losing weight. And I want to make sure that we discuss that there really isn't a food or a food group that can specifically help with weight loss. So sometimes you'll see apple cider vinegar or lemon water or things of that nature, which is sort of described as a weight loss sort of tool, I guess. If you drink this, then you'll lose weight. But we'll discuss a little bit about how you have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. There's no magic pill. There's no magic drink or anything like that. You can drink all the lemon water you want, but if you're in a calorie surplus, you're going to be gaining weight, guys. So we can talk about that. But I've made a ton of videos. I've done a ton of live streams. I haven't really discussed some of my favorite foods and what I sort of eat on a daily basis. And some of the ones that I would recommend to clients pretty much on a daily basis. I work with clients pretty much every day. Even this morning, talking with them through the phone, through messaging and things like that. So I would say on a daily basis, I'm talking nutrition at least to someone and to clients and working on weight loss and things like that. I've never been to India. No, I haven't. I have a couple clients from India, though. I'm sure it would be very, very nice. I've heard only good things. But let's talk a little bit about, I want to talk a little bit about my favorite fruit. Now, for fruit, it's sort of an interesting topic, and it can be a little bit, I don't know, I wouldn't say controversial or anything like that, but I've worked at different places and had different discussions about the quantity of fruit that you should be eating per day, especially pertaining to weight loss. So what I would always recommend, and my favorite sort of quantity, so how much fruit I'm eating per day, would max out at 2 to 3. So it would be like, if I was going to have fruit, it would be like a serving of blueberries and a banana. And then I might have an apple later on in the day or something like that. I think if you're having blueberries and certain berry varieties, you can go a little bit over. So sort of like blueberries, raspberries, things of that nature. They're very low in calories. But I have some clients that are, will have like 2 to 3 bananas. They'll have a banana in the morning. They'll have a banana at lunchtime. They'll have, pineapple in the morning, things of that nature. You just want to be a little bit careful with fruit, not because fruit is bad. I'm not saying that it's unhealthy, but anything that's taken too much. So too much of a good thing, I guess what I'm trying to say is too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. You just have to watch a little bit of the fructose and glucose that's found in sugar. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat fruit. You just want to make sure that you're having it in moderation, just like anything else. So is height growth possible after 22? It's so funny. I had someone asking me about height yesterday or this week. I haven't read too many studies on after 22, Robin, but I have seen studies that people growing into their late teens. I'm not sure if 22 is quite possible. The thing is, it's different for everyone. It's sort of a genetic thing, so it can be, very dependent on your own genetics, and then different from person to person and your own biological makeup. Reasons for early causes of heart attack. Well, we've had a ton of discussions with that. Again, this is one that I don't usually go too in depth on the medical side of things. You're going to want to speak with your medical practitioner about this. This is what I say about heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's, anything of that nature. All right, I never want to give you guys the impression that if you do this, this will happen. All right, so A equals B equals C. But early causes of heart attack, you just from reading studies and seeing studies and researching all of these videos, obesity can be one, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, things of that nature. And then again, genetics, sadly enough. Heart disease is on the rise, so we need to make sure that as I say in all of my discussions on heart health, we have to make sure that we're keeping our heart healthy. Heart disease, a quarter of the world will be dealing with some sort of heart issue going forward into the future, and it's only going to go up, guys. Pretty soon we'll be at a third. That's what the predictions are, so we really have to make sure that we're keeping our heart healthy. Hey Marilyn, good to see you in chat. Thank you so much for your question. For weight loss again. Yes, can green tea help? It can be a tool. You have to drink quite a bit of it, to be honest. It's not like 1 or 2 cups. I think the studies show it has to be like 5 or 6 cups or something like that of green tea. But for weight loss, again, I would just say first and foremost, you have to be in a calorie deficit. But if you're looking for other teas for weight loss, I think white tea might be another one. Green tea is definitely the most studied and probably the most recommended one for weight loss, I would say. But a white tea, I think black tea might have some sort of benefits when it comes to metabolism and things of that nature. But again, I think if you stick with green tea, oolong tea is nice. I think if you're sticking with those, you're doing a good job in terms of another tool. But again, you're going to want to be in that calorie deficit. I am careful in eating fruit, sometimes even none a day. Well, yeah, Lulu, that's interesting that you say that. What's always recommended is it's actually 0 to 3 sometimes. Sometimes you'll say 2 to 3, but 0 to 3 comes up sometimes in the studies. I mean, some people don't have fruit. If you're on a keto diet, you're probably not eating really any fruit a day. So that's not uncommon. It sounds uncommon to a lot of people because we've grown up eating fruit, been told how healthy fruit is, and it is very healthy. It has a ton of nutrition, fiber, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, everything that we like and everything that we're looking for. But if you're on a keto diet, it has carbohydrates, so it's going to take you out of ketosis, and so that's the whole point of a ketogenic diet. So a lot of people will kind of stay away from fruit in general, because if you have a banana on the keto diet, then you've already put yourself out of ketosis. I think anything over about 20 to 30 grams of carbs, you're probably going to be out of ketosis. A lot of people will say 50, but I think studies are starting to emerge where it's actually 30. And if you're eating vegetables and just, regular fruit, the vegetables might even take you there, to be honest. So that's why a lot of people will stay away from fruit if they're on a ketogenic diet. But again, I'm not saying fruit is bad. I'm just saying keep it in moderation like you would anything else. And the reason for that is, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. The reason why I say it can be a little controversial is because a lot of people enjoy fruit, and I do too. But it's funny when I'm working with clients, they'll think if they want to lose weight or be healthier, the first thing they grab is like a banana or a pineapple or a mango and things like that. Very high in sugars, now natural sugars. But again, higher in carbohydrates, higher in calories, and again, can sort of stunt that weight loss for you if you're looking to lose weight. Again, or grapes, things like that. I'm telling you guys, I cannot, and this is a personal thing, I really cannot eat pineapple, mango, or grapes. I can't remember the last time I ate like red grapes or green grapes just because of the amount of sugars, natural sugars, like I said, but just the way they make me feel after. I do not feel very good after eating grapes. And I know that there's other people out there who who feel the same thing. Now, the fruits that I will eat and the fruits that I recommend to people, and again, I would recommend pineapple and grapes to you guys as well. There's nice anthocyanins in red grapes. The antioxidants in red grapes are tremendous. Resveratrol in red grapes. So again, I'm not saying that grapes are bad. I'm just saying for myself, I have to stay away from them because they sort of don't agree with me. So the ones that are my favorite. All right, Robin, good night. Thank you so much again, joining all the way from India. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So the ones that I would recommend, I would always start with blueberries. And I have blueberries pretty much every day. I'll put them in my oatmeal. I'll put them in smoothies and things like that. Oh, there's a ton of things that you can add them to. But blueberries are definitely one of my favorites. I always have the blueberries in the household. And again, I freeze them. So I buy them in bulk and then I freeze them, guys. That's not going to hurt them. You can freeze them. And then so I buy them in bulk. That way I always make sure that I have them on hand, and I can add them into my diet. Sorry guys, as I'm just sipping on water here. So if I'm pausing, I'm just sort of hydrating as well at the same time with talking to you guys. So blueberries are always a nice one, guys. I really like blueberries. Berries in general are some of my favorite fruits, to be honest with you. Today's raspberry video, raspberries are one of my favorite. The reason why I would like these berries is because they're very high in nutritional value. They're low in calories, so you don't have to worry about eating really too much of them. I mean, you can add a cup of raspberries, I think I said today in the video, and I think it's under 70 calories, and a lot of it's coming from fiber. There's 8 grams of fiber in 1 cup of raspberries. Very similar if you're looking at blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, things of that nature. So tremendous amount of nutrition, tremendous amount of antioxidants. Blueberries, one of the best, and this is why I always kind of start with blueberries when it comes to fruit. One of the best antioxidant foods that you can have. One of the highest antioxidant foods out there. Raspberries are great, and I said that in the video today, but I think they have about a third or a quarter, maybe a quarter of the antioxidants that blueberries have, and raspberries are a great antioxidant food. So that just goes to show you how, tremendous blueberries are on the antioxidant scale. So blueberries are probably my favorite fruit, I would say. The next would probably be, I'd say like a strawberry or even blackberries, guys. Again, very common and very similar to blueberries. Blackberries are very underrated, so I really like berries. And you see all of the health benefits that come from eating these berries: blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, I think blackberries, elderberries, heart health, brain function, things like that. So I really like berries, guys. Now the other ones are going to be, citrus fruit. If it agrees with you, again, I have to kind of stay away from citrus fruit, but grapefruit is one of my favorites. I really like grapefruit. Kiwi I really like, and then I will try to have something like pears or apple, just because they're so high in fiber. So I really like the fiber that's found in those two fruits. And then if I'm gonna have a banana, it's going to probably be one, and it's usually after a workout, to be honest with you guys. That's when I'll usually have my banana, or in a smoothie. But most of the time, it's going to probably be after a workout. Ketogenic diet is best for obese people. Yep. So interesting. So, okay, so I'm just going to take this comment. Thank you so much for this comment here, Coach. Ketogenic diet is best for obese people. We need at least minimum 50 grams of carbohydrates per day so we function effectively. Also, carbohydrates is essential for brain health. Well, it's very interesting you say that, and thank you so much for the comment, and I appreciate you coming in here and making the comment on the keto diet. The thing is, and I agree with you, like the ketogenic diet can be great for people who are obese. Absolutely. The thing that I always say, though, is any diet can be good for someone who's obese or overweight. Again, the ketogenic diet, you still have to be in a calorie deficit when it comes to losing weight. Now, the thing that people like about the ketogenic diet is that once you get into ketosis, you start burning fat as energy. But if you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to pretty much do the same thing. You can lose fat while on pretty much any diet if you're in a calorie deficit. Now, the thing is also 50 grams of carbohydrates to function effectively. And the reason, my issue, I guess, that I have with the 50-gram number is, what if you're 5'2" and 110 pounds, all right? Or let's even just say 130, and you want to get to 115, all right? Or 5 foot, whatever it is, all right? This is just an example. All right, that number is going to change from someone who's 220 pounds and 6'3", or 280 pounds and 6'3", just because their total calories, all right, are going to be different from person to person, from weight to weight. So a person who's smaller is probably going to have less carbohydrates in their diet. So if they're having there's some people on ketogenic diets who try to have 0 carbohydrates or keep it under 20 or 30. And they would argue, it's not my argument, but they would argue that that's the most effective way for the ketogenic diet to work. Now, there's multiple types of ketogenic diets. Some people carb cycle on it. Some people will have carbs sometimes at on certain days and things of that nature, certain types of carbs, more slower digesting carbohydrates. But again, at least a minimum of 50 grams of carbohydrates. If you're eating more than 50 grams of carbohydrates, you're probably not going to be on the keto diet for too long, because it's very hard to stay in ketosis if you're eating over 50 grams of carbohydrates, especially if you're at a certain weight or lower in weight already. So you just have to be very careful of that. Again, I'm not hating on keto. I'm just sort of stating the fact that you can lose weight. It's good for obese people. Absolutely. It's good really for anyone if you're sticking to it and you're following the principles of the keto diet. But again, you just got to be careful of, the carbohydrate intake, how long you can stay on it, if you can maintain the lifestyle and things of that nature. So I hope that kind of is sort of my point on it. Again, not disagreeing with you or anything, Coach, but I like the points that you're making. But again, that 50-gram number, like I was saying before, even before you made the comment, I mentioned the 50 grams. Some people now are saying 30 grams, things of that nature. It's sort of a sliding scale, and it depends, again, from person to person. But thank you very much for that comment. So I think that kind of sums up the fruit, guys. Those are some of mine. Like I said, berries, things of that nature. Love all berry varieties. Blueberries probably being my favorite, followed by, like a strawberry or a blackberry or raspberries. And then I would say something like pears, kiwi, grapefruit for sure, and then a banana in moderation. Now for vegetables, nuts, and seeds, fruit, I love all. Yes, Brian, absolutely. Lulu, all right, if you're leaving, Lulu, thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate it. But yes, Brian, that's, great vegetables. It's awesome that you enjoy that. But nuts and seeds and fruit are kind of like, most of my clients' favorite things as well. It's sort of the go-to snack for a lot of people. Again, you just have to have it in moderation, because nuts and seeds, they're higher in fat, and there's 9 calories per gram of fat. So if you're eating a lot of nuts and seeds and it's not in moderation, you're going to be in that calorie surplus and possibly gaining weight if you are. If you're in a calorie surplus, you will be gaining weight. But yeah, nuts and seeds and fruit, again, just moderation. Let's go into nuts and seeds. What are some of my favorite nuts and seeds? All right, so healthy fats. Maybe we can talk a little bit about healthy fats. That would be included with the nuts and seeds here, guys. So some of my favorites, and ones that I have every single day, literally just had them before I came on stream. Almonds are probably my favorite. Again, very healthy in fat, good protein, good fiber, the healthy fats in them, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated fats. I find them to be very filling, very satiating. A lot of people find the same thing. They have great antioxidants, very underrated in that. You just have to make sure that you eat them with the skin on. But almonds are probably my go-to, I would say, for when it comes to nuts and nut varieties. Now, the other go-to, and something that I always have on hand, is walnuts. And I really love walnuts. I think they're tremendous, even for like a weight loss food. Both of these, to be honest. the reason why I love walnuts, again, healthy fats, great nutrition. But the nice thing about walnuts is you're going to be able to get omega-3 fatty acids from them. So if you're not, taking fish oil or eating salmon or sardines or mackerel, things of that nature, walnuts are a nice sort of way to get, I guess, naturally omega-3 fatty acids. And they're one of the best sources of sort of the fish, fatty fish and things of that nature, supplements of omega-3 fats. So I really like almonds and I really like walnuts. Again, I could go on and on, but those I'm going to give you guys my favorites. Those are the ones that if I was going to eat every day, those two would be the ones. If I had one other one, if there was one other nut that I would have, it would probably be something like maybe a pecans. Macadamia nuts are good. Pistachio. It's hard for me to pick the third because I really don't have these a lot in my diet. It's usually like the almonds and walnuts that are in my diet. But I think I would probably go with either maybe macadamia nuts or pistachios. Maybe that would be the third. But for seeds, again, very easy for me to say what my favorite two are. Again, pumpkin seeds, probably my top for sure. And then I would say my next would probably be sunflower seeds, to be honest. Now, you can't really go wrong with choosing certain seed varieties. But those two are my favorites. I think pumpkin seeds might be my favorite by far. Super healthy, a superfood. Just in their nutritional value and just in their monounsaturated fats. They have omega-3 fats, good fiber again, good protein, all right, good source of protein, and just so much nutritional value. So much of your percentage of your daily value is found in pumpkin seeds. Now again, pumpkin seeds are sort of my go-to, but there's so many other choices that you guys can have. Chia seeds are amazing. Flax seeds are amazing. I said sunflower seeds, but maybe I would change it to chia seeds, to be honest with you guys. Chia seeds, again, very, very, very healthy seed variety. Yeah, absolutely, Lulu. A lot of people enjoy them as well. Again, if you're having them in moderation, great choice for nutrition, great choice as a healthy fat. Pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, guys. And again, if I had to pick a third, I'd probably pick chia seeds in there. But again, flax seeds are nice too. But you really can't go wrong. Again, this is just my favorite, I would pick pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and then chia seeds, guys. Again, what are some of my other healthy fats? A lot of people will stay away from fats altogether, but we actually need healthy fats in our diet. All right? So it's very important to take that into consideration. A lot of my clients will, we sort of grew up with the idea of low fat this, low fat that, but we actually need healthy fats in our diet, all right, in order to be healthy. And so nuts and seeds are a great way to add that. Fish oil is another nice healthy fat. Avocados are probably my favorite other healthy fat, guys. And if I'm going to be adding a healthy fat to my smoothie, I usually add avocado to it. Now, avocado is amazing just because of, again, its nutritional value, super high in a ton of different vitamins and minerals, but it's also very high in monounsaturated fat. And monounsaturated fat has a ton of health benefits to it. It's actually one of the highest monounsaturated fat foods out there and very healthy for your heart. So if you're looking for a heart-healthy food or a heart-healthy fat, avocados, in moderation, of course, are going to be one of your best bets and one of your best choices, guys. So I think that I'll leave it there for the healthy fats. That's basically what I eat for fats, guys. You can tell it's again, you don't want to go overboard with fats. Oh, sorry, I got one more. The other one for healthy fats would be eggs. Okay, I can't leave that one out there. It would be eggs, guys. So there's about 5 to 6 grams of fats in eggs, the eggs I eat. All right, again, it depends on the size. But eggs, are another one of my fat sources. So it's eggs, almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, to be honest, and avocados, and then also fish oil. So taking that into consideration, again, I'm always making sure that I have it in moderation, guys. When I eat almonds, I count them. All right, so it's usually 10 almonds. If it's walnuts, it's usually 10 halves. All right, sometimes I'll weigh them. All right, so it'll probably be like 20 to 30 grams of each of those. All right, sometimes if I'm having something like peanut butter or almond butter, cashew butter, things of that nature, there's so many, butters now. I remember years ago, it was so hard to find that stuff, but now you can go out and find almond butter at your grocery store. I used to have to go to a health food store to go and get it. Now you can just pick it up anywhere. But I would measure it. I would have like a tablespoon of let's say peanut butter. So I'm always measuring and I'm always sort of monitoring just how many grams of fat I'm having per day. What's a good recommended recipe for a healthy smoothie for weight loss? All right, interesting question, Sonia. First and foremost, if we want a healthy smoothie for weight loss, well, if we're trying to lose weight, it has to be lower in calories. I would try to make sure that you get protein, like some protein, and it depends what diet you're on as well. Again, if you're on the ketogenic diet, you're not going to be able to have carbohydrates in the smoothie, really, unless you put a little bit of blueberries or something of that nature. Here's a healthy smoothie that I like, guys, and it's going to include protein, healthy fat, and a little bit of carbohydrates. And again, it depends on how many calories you can eat per day. So that's why it's very hard. And if you have someone, doing a live stream or whatever it is, a video on, a healthy smoothie for weight loss, you have to take into consideration how many calories the person has to be eating per day, because if you want to lose weight, like I always say, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So again, the quantity of these ingredients is going to change from person to person. But what I'm always going to have in a smoothie is I'm going to start off with spinach. I always add spinach into my smoothies. I always like to get a greens. It's probably going to be spinach and kale, to be honest. Those are my two favorite. Very low in calories, very high in nutrition, and you can get vegetables. That's why I like doing it in the morning, because you can have vegetables in breakfast. If I'm having eggs for breakfast, I'll throw spinach in there and cook that up with the eggs. I sort of like the idea of having vegetables at every single meal, guys. With vegetables, you can go a little bit more than with fruit. You can kind of have that with every meal, guys. Again, the servings are 3 to 6 usually recommended, so it's very hard to eat too much vegetables. But again, you got to be careful a little bit, because some of them can be very, very high in certain micronutrients, so vitamins and minerals, just like if you're eating Brazil nuts. And again, I do like Brazil nuts and hemp seeds there, Brian, by the way. Hemp seeds, I would sort of recommend them as well. Very, very healthy. I just see your question there. But yeah, hemp seeds are a great choice for healthy fats. But I would always start with, let me get back to the smoothie question. I'd always start with a greens. So spinach and kale would be my go-to. If I'm going to add another one, it would be broccoli, to be honest. So that's going to be a healthy one. And then I would put in blueberries. Right? Again, I'm just telling you the foods that are going to be in it. The quantity is going to be up to you, because you need to know, if you're losing weight, how many calories. So your basal metabolic rate, that's the amount of calories you burn. You have to be under that. We'll take into consideration how many calories you burn per day. But you take how many calories you burn per day plus your basal metabolic rate. You have to be under that in order to lose weight, guys. So you have to know your basal metabolic rate. Again, I don't want to get too in-depth here. So just make sure you know how many calories it takes for you to lose weight. But next, I would have blueberries. I like putting oatmeal in my smoothies. That gives me a nice, healthy carbohydrate. Again, it's not very much. It's usually about 1/4 cup. Sometimes I will put in a banana. Now, we have to take into consideration, I'm not 5'6" or 5'8". I'm well over 6 feet, so I can eat a little bit more and have a little higher calorie intake than most people. But I'll throw in a banana as well. Good potassium. And again, sometimes I'm doing this after my workout. So we have spinach, kale, blueberries, oatmeal, a banana, and then I would throw in a whey protein or a protein of your choice. If you don't like whey, there's so many other vegan options. Can be hemp protein. Doesn't matter what the protein is, but just make sure you have protein in there. And then maybe the last thing would be like a quarter of an avocado. That's what I would put in there. Again, the quantity is going to depend on your own calorie needs. For a lot of people and a lot of my clients, I wouldn't have them put the oatmeal in, all right, or a full banana in, to be quite frank, just because it's too much carbohydrates for them, or too much calories, I should say, too much calories for them. So that would be my healthy smoothie. Again, people are gonna give you a green recipe or something of that nature, but I sort of like a well-rounded smoothie, so all macronutrients covered, so fiber, protein, carbohydrates, healthy fats, have vegetables in there, fruits. I like all of that covered in my smoothies. And then you have tons of micronutrient dense foods. All of them are pretty much superfoods, to be honest with you. Like the blueberries are superfoods, spinach, kale, avocado as the healthy fat. Some people will consider bananas to be a superfood. So it's all superfoods in there, really. Oatmeal sometimes considered to be a superfood, at least a super grain or super carbohydrate, just because of its rate of absorption, so its digestive rate. But that would be my smoothie. But yes, to always eat your smoothies. Absolutely. Absolutely. And always eat your veggies. Exactly. Thompson. Tejian. I hope I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Oh, no problem, Sonia. Thank you for asking, because I know there's probably some other people who have the same question. And, that's just my take on it. A well-rounded smoothie that covers all your macronutrient needs in the quantity that's best for you for weight loss, and also your micronutrient needs. That's sort of my idea with it. A lot of people will give you these green smoothie ideas or stuff like that, and that's fine too. But my favorite smoothies are ones that have all the macronutrients covered and micronutrients. So very, very healthy, and also, have your macronutrients covered. So I hope that answers your question. I hope that helps you guys a little bit. But yes, always eat your veggies as well. How do you feel about collagen powder? Okay, Marilyn, that's a nice one. You know what? I've been hearing more and more and reading more and more on collagen powder, because a lot of my clients are, one, asking about it, and then also taking it. From grass-fed beef, yeah, that's a great question. I have no problems with collagen powder. I think that's a nice protein for, a lot of people. I have people who are vegan or at least vegetarian, and that's a nice protein source for them to add into their smoothies. So, and also, there's a lot of health benefits to collagen as well. Again, have it in moderation, but there's a lot of good collagen powders out there. And again, this is another one that's just emerging. I mean, when I started this 15 years ago, collagen powder was unheard of. Trust me, you would not hear about anyone taking collagen powder. But, I have no issue with collagen powder. In fact, I think it can set people up for success, because a lot of people don't like whey protein, or it doesn't mix with them. Like I said, grapes doesn't really mix with me, because I can't handle the sugar, or at least fructose from grapes. Some people can't deal with whey protein, the dairy in it, right? So I think collagen is a nice sort of substitute when it comes to that. So that's a great question, Marilyn. Thank you so much for asking. But, I do not mind collagen powder. I think it can be a great tool for weight loss, for getting your macronutrients, and for, your smoothies. Mel Firestone, thank you so much. Glad I could catch you live. Well, I'm glad you could too, Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really happy that you're here. Quite frankly, happy all of you guys are here. Thank you so much. It's been a little while, so it's great to see people coming into the chat and the live stream. Can I add some almond milk in the smoothie? Great question again, Sonia. Absolutely. I forgot that part. So what would be the liquid base of the smoothie? My first choice would be water, to be honest with you. I put water in it. But the next one can be almond milk, as long as it's not the have an almond milk that doesn't have sugar added to it. So you can find like a low calorie, I think per cup you can find one that's like 30 calories or something like that. You might need a little more than that, than a cup. I would keep it at no more than that. You don't want your liquid being a huge portion of the calories in there, or at least I wouldn't, especially for a weight loss smoothie. But you can throw some almond milk in there, absolutely. Just get it with no sugar added, and just take into consideration that it will increase your macronutrients just in the fat category. So if you're going to add like avocado in there, like I would, take into consideration you're adding a little bit more fat in there with the almond milk. It's not a ton, but you are getting a little bit more, and those calories can add up. I found good results from collagen powder. It helps with my joint pain. No longer take Tylenol. Well, that's great, Marilyn. A nice natural way to deal with joint pain and not have to be dependent on Tylenol. Very, very good. I love hearing that, and congratulations on that. Tylenol every now and then, is fine, but you do not want to have to be be dependent on it on a day-to-day basis because of your joint pain. At least your goal should be to not have to take it every single day. If you can take collagen powder and that's helping with your joint pain, then that's tremendous. So congratulations to you. I know other people who have taken collagen powder and it helped had great results for their skin. So it helped clear up their psoriasis. And it makes sense, right? Because collagen, I talked about it even in my video today. Vitamin C produces collagen, which is going to have a nice effect on your skin and hair, to be honest. So I really like collagen powder. And like I said, it's an emerging protein source, and a nice protein source. I had to look it up for a couple clients because they asked about collagen powder. I'll be honest, I've never taken it. All right, so I should say that as well. But I have researched it quite a bit, and I've had a lot of clients who've taken it, and I've only heard good results, and I've only seen good feedback, and only read good things on it. And if you look at the ingredients and where it's coming from, you can make your own determination on whether something is good or bad. Okay, so let's go to carbohydrates, guys. And I think this is a big one. If there's anyone on keto, if Coach is still here, if there's anyone on keto, all right, carbohydrates are going to be a big one, all right? Or if you're not on keto, then it might be even more important to you guys. So what are my favorite carbohydrate foods? All right, number one has to be oatmeal. If I'm going to have a carbohydrate, say I could only pick one and only eat it at every meal, or I usually have carbohydrates in 4 meals. I eat 6 meals per day. Again, you don't need to have 6 meals per day. I'm not saying that this is what everyone should do. I'm just telling you guys how I eat. But I have 6 meals per day. I usually have carbohydrates in 3 or 4 of those meals. Okay, so I do have carbohydrates in my diet, and oatmeal is always going to be one of them. Sometimes twice, to be honest. I don't have it for breakfast, but I will have it, in a post-workout meal or something like that. But oatmeal has to be number one. I love oatmeal. It's a slow digesting carbohydrate, so I'm a big fan of that. Now the other ones, and I was thinking about, and thank you so much for the thumbs up, by the way, guys. 23 thumbs up. I'm just looking at that now. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. But with the other carbohydrates, here's where it starts getting controversial, and people start, either agreeing or disagreeing, or people will start disagreeing, with the carbohydrates. Again, I'm not someone who sort of has the mindset of being scared of carbohydrates, guys. I think when it comes to weight loss and to a healthy diet, I think if you're having carbohydrates in moderation, you're doing just fine. There's been a couple big studies that have come out, even with the nutrient timing of carbohydrates. So we'd hear for so long that if you're going to have carbohydrates, have them in the morning, have them around your workout. Don't have them after 4 p.m. There was a huge study that just came out, and I think there's been follow-up studies where they've taken 2 groups, someone who stopped eating carbohydrates. I can't remember the exact time. I think it was 3 or 4. They would stop eating carbohydrates at 3 or 4, and then the other group stopped taking them at 9 p.m. All right, so just before bedtime, maybe it's even 10. And there was no difference in weight loss or anything like that. Again, to lose weight, now it's going to fluctuate from person to person. If you have a gluten intolerance and things like that, then of course you're going to want to be careful with the carbohydrates you're eating. But it's going to depend from person to person. But I'm someone who is of the mindset that carbohydrates are a tool for me. Again, they're just another food group. They're another macronutrient. I'm just going to make sure that I'm having them in moderation and having the healthiest ones, or at least the most nutritious ones that I can. My favorites are going to be probably oatmeal and sweet potatoes. Those are the two that if I could only eat two, I would have those. Oatmeal, sweet potatoes. Those are my two favorite carbohydrates. Now, another one that's also a good carbohydrate source, but also a protein alternative, are beans. Black beans are a great carbohydrate. I love black beans. They're very filling. Great fiber source as well, guys. Great for digestive health. Like the magnesium, manganese, potassium. So that's why it's heart healthy. Those are heart healthy micronutrients. Very, very underrated. The daily values of those micronutrients in beans is off the charts. So I like black beans. Here's where it gets controversial. I also like whole wheat bread. All right. Depending on which bread. Ezekiel bread is also very nice. So I do not mind whole wheat bread. In moderation, of course. And then I'll have whole wheat pasta as well. And again, this is from person to person. The reason why I have whole wheat pasta, and again, this is not every day. The everydays would be sweet potatoes and oatmeal, right? But a whole wheat pasta or something like that is something that I can make a healthy pasta salad with. So I can add vegetables into it. I usually don't have it with, like when I say whole wheat pasta, don't think like spaghetti or lasagna or things like that. It's kind of no sauce, but vegetables put in there. And if it is a sauce, it'll be something like an olive oil base or something of that nature. Something low calorie. But again, it's just coming back to the nutrients in it. Right, how much you're having, the moderation, okay, and again, even fiber intake and things of that nature. But again, I'm not someone who's going to be too scared of carbohydrates. But whole wheat bread and whole wheat pasta will be in my diet. Again, those aren't the everydays, and I can't remember the last time that I had whole wheat pasta, to be honest with you. So keep that in mind as well. I've had whole wheat bread one time probably in the last 2 to 3 weeks, but I wouldn't have a problem eating it every day. Let's just say that. There was a point where I was, and I was losing weight or maintaining weight at that point. So just keep that in mind, guys. Carbohydrates, if you're on certain diets like keto, of course, you got to watch carbohydrates. You can't be overdoing it. But again, they can be another tool in your diet, and you can get a lot of nutrients out of carbohydrates with like oatmeal, sweet potato, black beans. As I mentioned, those are some of the healthiest foods out there and seen as superfoods, to be honest with you. Sweet potato is one of the best foods out there, in my opinion, at least carbohydrate-wise, just because of its fiber, its micronutrients. Make sure that you're just having it with the skin on. There's tons of ways that you can have it. You can bake it. You can put it on the barbecue. Very, very nice. So those are some of my favorite carbohydrates. I'm sort of interested in if there's anyone who, has some favorite carbohydrates and what carbs you guys are eating. Again, the fruits are the other ones. We already talked about fruits, so I separated them, but those are going to be your carbohydrate sources. Veggies are going to have carbohydrates, some protein in there as well, but not a ton. A lot of people will tell me, and same with nuts and seeds, guys. Take this into consideration as well, especially when it comes to weight loss. A lot of people and a lot of clients, when I first start working with them, will tell me, I have peanuts, let's say, and that's my protein source. Well, peanuts, in my opinion, are going to be a healthy fat source, not a protein source. You could get, let's say, 15 grams of fat from a certain amount of peanuts and then only get 4 grams of protein. So I can't see how you can justify that as a protein source when you're getting so much fat. So the protein fat ratio is very fat heavy. So a lot of the times they'll tell me, I'm should be getting a lot of protein. I'm eating pumpkin seeds. I'm having peanuts. I'm having peanut butter and things of that nature. They're all high in fats, guys. Yes, they have some protein in it, but the protein is very low in comparison to the actual healthy fat that's in it. It's the same thing with broccoli. Yes, there's protein in broccoli, but you'd have to eat a lot of broccoli, guys, in order for you to get enough, or at least a high level of protein. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Those are healthy fat sources, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people would agree. I don't think that's too controversial to say. But a lot of people are under the impression just because it has protein in it, that's a protein source. If you're trying to get a protein source, guys, we got to turn to some other things. Like we have to have like the whey protein or the collagen powder that Marilyn talked about. All right, now that's going to be your supplements. The other healthy, fat sources, protein sources that I like. The reason why I just said fat there was, salmon's a nice one, but it's going to have some fat in there. Healthy fats like omega-3 fats and things of that nature. But let's talk about some of my favorite proteins. All right, whey protein is one of them. All right, so I supplement with whey protein. Do I have whey protein every day? Right now, I am. During the summer, it was actually very low. I went more than a month, I think, without having whey protein. So it's just sort of dependent on sort of what your lifestyle is and, what protein sources you're trying to get and how much protein you're trying to eat per day. But right now, I do have whey protein in my diet on a day-to-day basis. But, let's talk about some of the other, I guess, more regularly consumed protein that you guys might be having. So the other protein sources that I like, and this one, think about this as well. Just be careful because eggs are one of your best protein sources. They're one of the highest they have one of the highest bioavailabilities of protein. So you're digesting more of the protein. So the amount of protein that's in eggs you're actually digesting, right? And it's not getting, digested and going through the waste process and all of that. But you also have to take into consideration with eggs also that you're also getting quite a bit of fat. The ratio is almost 1-to-1. I think it's like 6 grams of protein to like 5 grams of fat. But here's how I sort of get around that. So I'll have eggs. I'll throw usually no more than 2 eggs, only because I'm watching fat. But then I'll have egg whites. So egg whites are one of my favorite protein sources, guys. I'll have an egg or 2. It's one egg right now so that I get the health benefits and healthy fats of eggs, because I told you guys already eggs are one of my favorite healthy fat sources. And then I'll supplement the rest with egg whites. And the reason why I like egg whites, you're getting all of the protein without the fat. All right, so if I'm trying to get a certain amount of protein, the egg whites are making it much easier on my macronutrient needs. So those are 2 of my favorite proteins, guys. Eggs, like a whole egg, and then egg whites. Let me know if there's anyone who eats eggs in here. Sometimes people are scared of eggs because of the cholesterol level. The reason why I don't have 2, or I'm having 1 as opposed to 2 or 3, isn't because of cholesterol. All right. There's been studies that show that your intake of cholesterol has very little to do with your serum cholesterol levels. It actually has to do with your weight. So if you're obese, could be if you're diabetic, and it can also be lifestyle. If you're living a sedentary life, if you're not working out, if you're not active. Remember, we want to try to get at least 150 minutes per week, guys, of movement. I call it movement. It doesn't have to be strenuous. If you go for a nice walk, something of that nature, 150 minutes at least per week. So let's continue with the proteins. All right, another one of the proteins that I like. All right, so we have eggs, we have egg whites. All right, salmon is a nice one. I think fish in general is a good one for most people, just because it's going to be, all protein, really no carbs. If you're going to be having things like salmon, mackerel, if you're a sardines fan, there's not a ton of them out there, but I know sardines, you're going to be getting more fats as well. So those are some of my favorites. Again, would I suggest eating them every day? Probably not. Fish every day, you can, just depending on what fish it is. I would just be careful with that. I don't have fish every day, but I'll have it 3 to 4 times a week. There was a point where I was eating it more often. Right now it's a little bit less, but it is one of my favorite fats. Another one that I like is chicken breast. Again, I think lean turkey. Turkey's going to be lean anyway, but it depends if you're getting ground turkey or if you're actually getting turkey. But I think chicken breast, turkey, even chicken thighs, those are some of my favorites, guys. Let me know. And the protein is sort of, again, it's going to be very dependent on person to person, how much you should be getting. I'm going to be eating more than most of you guys, I would say, quite confidently. So keep that in mind as well. A lot of people can get enough protein just by having eggs and egg whites, and then having meat alternatives like beans. Shrimp is another one of my favorites. Again, all protein, really no carbs, no fat in that as well. Some people can get it from eggs, egg whites, meat alternatives, and collagen powder. All right, a supplement. That's more than enough for a lot of people. For me, I have to add a little bit of the chicken breast, turkey, fish, things of that nature. Lulu, I eat eggs at least 4 or 5 times a week. I don't have high cholesterol issues. Thus, there you go. And again, it'll be dependent on person to person, but as Lulu kind of shows here, all right, in Lulu's case, no cholesterol issues. Again, I would have them in moderation. I'm not saying you should go out there and eat 12 eggs per day. Again, it's not going to be healthy. But a lot of the times we don't need to be, too scared of having, eggs in moderation. You're going to get a lot of, and don't be scared of the yolks if you're having them in moderation. Like let's say 1 or 2, all right, even per day, 1 per day. You're going to be getting a ton of micronutrients. That's where all of the micronutrients are, guys. They're in the yolk of the egg. So that's something that we need to take into consideration as well. That's why I put at least 1 in the eggs that I eat, so I can actually get the micronutrients. In the egg whites, there's not going to be much at all. It's just going to be trace micronutrients. Yes, it's nice in macronutrients, so nice in protein, but it's not the best micronutrient source. The whole egg is my micronutrient source, guys. And the thing with eggs too is, which I really like, let's say you're having scrambled eggs or whatever, you can throw vegetables in there, mushrooms, spinach, you can throw anything in there, broccoli, kale. It's very, very nice. But those are some of my favorite protein sources. Ones that if I would eat every day, those are going to be the ones that I have generally. Now I don't have a ton of red meat. I can't remember. I might have like a steak every now and then. Again, I can't remember the last time I had ground beef or anything like red meat. It's very seldom. But again, I'm not going to be scared of it from time to time, in moderation, of course. I probably wouldn't have it every day, but if you're going to have protein, every now and then, there's nothing wrong with it, depending on your own personal needs. And a lot of people, digestive issues, guys, a lot of people have digestive issues. Red meat is going to be very, very hard with some people for digestion. Also, if you're having a ton of red meats, there can be health complications as well. So keep that into consideration also, all right? You need to be aware of what you're eating and how it can affect the body. So that's why I don't have a ton of red meat. I used to eat more when I was younger. Now it's very seldom, but I will have it in my diet from time to time. Now, also, is there anyone who's trying to lose weight here? Because if we're trying to lose weight, guys, please ask your questions, because I think I can be of some value to you on this topic. So, don't be afraid to ask. With weight loss, I know not everyone's trying to be, trying to lose weight, but if we're trying to be healthier in general, that doesn't mean weight loss. It's the foods that we eat. It's the diet that we have, all right, if we're trying to be healthier. For some of us, though, if we're trying to be healthier, it will include weight loss. If we're a little bit overweight or if we're dealing with obesity, then, we would like to lose some weight. So if you have some questions pertaining to weight loss, I'm going to give some ideas in here connected to weight loss and diet. But, again, when I say diet, a lot of people will take that as, trying to lose weight. But, that's just sort of the name, I guess, or the connotation of diet has just been kind of synonymous with, trying to lose weight. But all diet is just the foods that you're eating. So try not to get confused, and it can be confusing just because of the way that it's used, the terms used today. But when I say diet, I just sort of mean the foods that you're eating, like a keto diet or a vegan diet or Mediterranean diet, paleo diet. See, those are the foods you're eating. It doesn't mean that you're trying to necessarily lose weight. It could, but it's just the foods that you're eating on a day-by-day basis. And thank you so much for the thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate you guys. And I really appreciate you guys coming in and listening today. But when it comes to weight loss, like I said, I think the best diet that you can have for weight loss, and people are going to disagree with this, but in my opinion, just from working with people and the studies and things of that nature, the best diet is going to be the one that you can stick to and make a lifestyle out of and make lifestyle changes on. Because let's say that you are going to a certain diet, but then you can't stay on it, right? And it's causing you to, let's say, quote unquote, cheat on the diet, right? So maybe you binge or you go to high calorie foods. If you can't stay on the diet, then, a lot of the times you could argue, why would you want to be on that diet to lose weight if you can't stick with it? Because once you start introducing other foods or other macronutrients into your diet, and it causes you to gain weight, then all of that time and energy is just wasted, right? I'm sort of a fan of, good micronutrients. So whether that means you're on a keto, paleo, Mediterranean, as long as you're getting your micronutrients and you're getting a nice well balance of different types of foods, veggies, all that different stuff, I'm a fan of that. If you can lose weight on that type of diet, that's my personal preference. That's going to change from person to person, I already know. But that's the one that for me, works best because I can stick with it. And a lot of my clients can stick with that diet. There's going to be some issues, I think, for most people if you have to be on a diet where you can't eat an apple. I always use that as an example. Some people will come in wanting to get on diets, and then I'll just straight up and ask them, are you okay not eating an apple? Are you okay with not being able to have a dairy product or something of that nature? Or, beans. Let's say they like beans or oatmeal. Okay, so you have to think of are you going to go on a diet? Let's say you like having an apple or some of the things that I mentioned, blueberries, pears, some of my favorite stuff, grapefruit, some of my favorite fruits. Am I going to want to get on a diet and try to lose weight on a diet where I can't have some of my favorite foods? I just feel too restricted. That's not a diet that I'm going to be successful on because I'd be, one, too restricted. I told you about my favorite carbs, guys. Oatmeal I love. Sweet potatoes I love. I want those in my diet, especially if I'm trying to lose weight. Lulu, absolutely. The best diet is the one you can stick with. Yes, absolutely, Lulu. That's my personal belief. I think it's the one that you can make the lifestyle changes with. I think it's the one that you can, maintain the rest of your life and maintain a healthy weight at. I think that's probably the best diet. I have to tell you, you have inspired. Oh, nice, Sonia. Inspired your daughter. She has listened to your live cast. She was accepted in university for nutritional science at McGill University. So thank you. Oh, that's awesome, Sonia. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's incredible. Congratulations on your daughter getting into McGill University. Very nice university. A great university. I'm sure that's amazing that she's taking nutritional science. I'm sure it's a great program there. Heard only good things about McGill, to be honest with you. So that's awesome. So she listens to the live cast, maybe has seen some of the videos. Well, that's amazing and good for her. I think that field can be, yield some successful results down the road. I think it's a nice one to be in these days. I think, there's a lot of people who are making a living these days on dealing with people's diets and food in general, and she could go in a bunch of different options in nutritional science and things of that nature. So good for her, and thank you so much, Sonia, for mentioning that. I really appreciate you sharing that, and again, congratulations to you and your daughter. You ever heard of the diet you eat your food with? Yes, within 8 hours of waking up and you don't eat till the next day. Yes, Marilyn, absolutely. That's one of the more popular diets out there. It's called intermittent fasting. So you're eating within usually 8 hours is your biggest window. So you're eating within a certain window, all of your calories. Now, it doesn't have to be within waking up. It can be, absolutely. It really can be any time during the day. But yes, sometimes people will do it on a 4-hour window, 6 hour, 8 hour. 8 hour tends to be the most popular, maybe 6 hours, something like that. But yes, that's called the intermittent fasting diet, Marilyn, and it's very, very popular right now. A lot of my clients, it comes up at least once a week with my clients. A lot of people wanting to get on that. A lot of people, and same with keto. I'd say those are probably the two most popular. And again, yes, intermittent fasting is fine if that works for you. And it does work for a lot of people. And I've read a couple books on intermittent fasting, and it works for people, but it just depends. It didn't work for me. I tried getting on it, and it just wasn't for me. I was having to train people, or deal with clients while fasted, and it just was not the diet for me. But for a lot of people it is, and they have good success with it. And it could be for a number of reasons, whether to lose weight or to keep blood sugar levels in control, things of that nature. Again, for diet, it's not always weight loss. It can be for other health benefits as well. But yes, thank you for asking, Marilyn. It's the intermittent fasting diet. Great ideas exchange going on here. Thank you, Nana. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Yes, the best plan is what works for you. Question: what's your take on eating once a day or 2 meals within a 6-hour window daily? Okay, well, that's a great question. Here's my take. Within a 6-hour window daily. So again, that's funny because you both basically just asked like a intermittent fasting question back to back. So again, if you're eating within a 6-hour window daily, again, like I just mentioned to Marilyn, 6 hours tends to be the most popular, I think, because it's right in the middle. Here's my take, and it's a great question. My take is, as long as you can get all of your macronutrient needs and micronutrient needs, so all of your vitamins and minerals, fiber, as long as you can get your antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, all of that nice stuff, if you can fit your macronutrients in there, so good fiber, protein, carbohydrates, healthy fats, if you can fit that into a 6-hour window daily and in 2 meals, then I don't know why anyone would suggest that would be wrong. I'm trying to think of a con that could be with that. None is really popping into my head. As long as you can stick to that 6-hour window, I think you'd be okay. A lot of people actually do that one meal. It's just one large meal. I kind of like it broken down into 2 meals, to be honest. It's very, very hard to get all your micronutrient needs in one meal. You'd really have to be eating a lot of food and like a lot of veggies, fruits. You have to get all your protein, carbohydrates, and fats all in one meal. That can be very tough to do for a lot of people. So 2 meals would be my preference, splitting it up into that. But the window is more the window is more of the, I guess, the important part. But as long as you're getting your macro and micronutrient needs in that window, then I think you're going to be okay. Yes, again, congratulations. That's right, to Sonia. You must be real. Dr. J. No, I've never heard of that doctor. There's a bunch of people will mention a bunch of different medical practitioners, either on YouTube or who wrote books and things like that. But like I said, myself not being in the medical field, I sort of do my own research. I don't watch too many other people. There are some that I will watch, but I'm kind of too busy doing my own kind of thing. But that's great. I might have to look that up, Sonia. Thank you. 6 meals a day. What portion sizes? Well, that's a great question too. So as I mentioned, I eat usually 5 to 6 meals a day. The portion size is going to depend on your caloric needs. So your basal metabolic rate plus the amount of calories that you're burning per day. So the portion sizes, quite simply, is going to depend and change from person to person depending on how much you weigh and how many calories you burn. So, for some people, that can be anywhere from 250 to 500 calories. And it could be less and it could be more. I mean, if you're eating, 1,200 calories, you'd have to be having 6 meals a day. You're only eating 200 calories per meal. But if you're eating 3,000, you're eating 500 calories per meal. So it's going to depend just on how much you weigh and how many calories you're burning per day. So if you train a lot, or if you're an athlete or a runner, or you walk a lot and things like that, the portion size is going to change depending on your weight and your size, and also on your goal. If you're trying to lose weight as opposed to someone who's trying to maintain weight, then that's going to change the portion size as well. So even if you're the same weight as someone, maybe you're a different height, the weight difference is going to change the portion size as well. All right. So if they're trying to lose weight, they're going to be in a calorie deficit as opposed to someone who's in a maintenance. So if they're in a deficit, that's going to bring the portion size a little bit lower. Hopefully that sort of explains it and sums it up a little bit. But yeah, 6 meals, the portion sizes are usually going to be fairly smaller and not too big, just because 6 meals a day, and again, 6 meals a day I would not recommend for most people. It just depends, again, on your own needs, on your own goals, and if you can maintain that. A lot of people don't like the 6 meals a day because they don't want to cook 6 meals. That's very tough. For me, I think that's one of the hardest parts of maintaining a 6 meal a day type diet, or 5 to 6 meals a day. You have to come up, but I've kind of simplified it. I do a lot of meal prep. I think that's important if you're trying to lose weight. So making sure if you are hungry, you have meals that are already prepared for you. That way you're not turning to, other alternatives that are higher in calories or things of that nature. But I think meal prep is important. But that portion size, there's a lot of, I guess, sort of things, outside factors that are going to change that portion size. But that's a great question. I hope that answered it for you, Nana. But yeah, for weight loss, again, it's just calorie deficit and then knowing how many calories you should be eating. A lot of people will eat very similar from day in to day out, and a lot of people actually, will eat the same thing. For those people, it's easy because if you're not losing weight, you just drop something from your diet. Like, so if you're eating the same thing, let's say you're not losing weight, and let's say you're having a whole sweet potato for one meal, you can half that. And then let's say you're having a whole banana in your shake, you can have half the banana, so you're cutting out some of the calories that way. It makes it a lot easier. But there's also a lot of people who cannot maintain, and I don't think I'd be able to maintain a diet where you're eating the same thing every single day. Now, a lot of the foods I do, but I try to get as much variety as I can. So that's why when I said for nuts and seeds, yes, almonds and walnuts, 2 of my favorites. But, from time to time, you got to switch it up a little bit, or else you're just going to get bored. It's going to become mundane, and, you're not going to stick to that diet. So switching it up a little bit is also very good for weight loss as well. Having some variety to the diet also. Thank you so much for the 28 thumbs up there, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So if there's any more questions, guys, please feel free, especially on the weight loss side. All right, you guys now know a few of my favorite foods. We covered everything from fruits to vegetables to carbohydrates to healthy fats to proteins. We covered a little bit of everything, which was nice. And there's some really great questions and feedback and engagement in the chat. I really appreciate that. That makes it so much. That's what I really like about the live streaming. Yes, I can come on here and chat and give my opinion on every single point that I'm trying to make, but it's really nice to answer your questions and engage in some of the discussion with you guys as well. So thank you for that. But for weight loss, again, just depending, it depends on your goal, depends on how big you are, I guess, like height-wise, and how much you want to lose. So what your goals are, and just what your caloric needs are. Portion size, some people might be the same weight and have the same goals, but someone might work out 6 days a week as opposed to someone who works out 1 to 2. That portion size is going to change for those 2 people, just because the other person's burning more calories per day. And if they're burning more calories per day, they can generally eat more, or the other person has to eat less. So there are a lot of factors that go into a diet, and that's where like the programming is really important. Again, you don't want to make it too complicated. That's another thing. If it's too complicated, you're not going to stick with it. So, just taking your time, enjoying the process. You take care of the process, the outcome is going to take care of itself. That's what I always tell my clients. Right? I help them with the process. They tell me the outcome that they want, and then my whole goal for them, or my job really, is to create a process for them that's going to set them up for success. That's what I try to do with my videos, is just give you guys the information that you can then add and create, your own process with, and then hopefully have the outcome that you're looking for. And if the outcome is weight loss, that's fine. If the outcome is just, finding a new carbohydrate source or a new food that you hadn't thought of, or learning about a new herb or tea, whatever it is, there's tons of videos on the channel, thousands of them, and being able to add that to your diet and finding success with it, then I think that's great. And that's really, really the whole point, I think, of the channel. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate all of the support. I'm very, very happy to see that, how many people came in today after not being here for, I think, maybe about a month or something along those lines. It's been a while. I know it's been at least a few weeks now for coming in. So I just want to thank everyone for coming in and engaging in the chat and, sticking in here for so long. Like Marilyn, Lulu, Sonia, other people, Brian. Sorry, I can't scroll up. But people who just stuck through the whole live stream, and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And everyone who came in at the beginning, throughout the middle, at the end, thank you so much. And even the people who, what we'll call like the people who are just listening right now, or the people who are going to listen to this later on once I put the video up, thank you so much for listening to the video. I really appreciate it, and listening to the discussion. But the important thing is, now I have time for these live streams again. The goal is, and I think it's fairly attainable goal, is to do at least 2 of these live streams per week. I left in the commentary section of the YouTube. You guys can let me know some ideas that you would like me to discuss as well. I think that would be great. So keep those ideas coming. I have a bunch of ideas. I don't think I'll ever run out of ideas, to be honest with you. I haven't with the foods videos, like I think we're almost at 5,000 videos on the channel, so those ideas just keep kind of coming and coming. I think the live streams are going to do the exact same thing. So everyone have if you're enjoying a long weekend right now, enjoy the long weekend, like Marilyn's saying. Happy holiday, getting ready for my road trip. Oh, to Kentucky. That's awesome, Marilyn. Well, enjoy Kentucky. Have a great, safe trip. Enjoy it. And everyone else, enjoy your weekend as well. It was nice to do this on a Saturday, I'll be honest, in the morning. For most of the summer, I've been working Saturday mornings, so it's nice to get on here. And there's no problem with that. Trust me, I schedule it that way, so I'm not complaining. But it's nice to get on here and chat with you guys, switch it up a little bit, which is very nice. But again, I appreciate you all. Thank you for the support. Again, I wouldn't be able to do the videos without your guys' support, so thank you very much. It allows me to keep doing the videos, and because again, like I told you guys, my job isn't a professional YouTuber. A lot of people will think that, and I'll get questions on that, on like YouTube career and things like that. It's not really my goal, to be honest. It'd be kind of cool. It's an interesting thought experiment, but I like doing both, where I do the YouTube and I like working with clients as well. So that's something that I always do. But that's my whole point, is just saying thank you to you guys for supporting the channel and watching and listening and engaging and coming in here. Because like I said, it allows me to keep doing it and to keep making more videos and to keep doing these live streams and having the time to do so. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate the support. And the ideas are going to keep coming. The videos will keep coming. The live streams will keep on going. And we have more time now than I did before. So I think it's going to just increase in content and quality, I hope, too, as well. I'm always trying to increase quality. I like the quality of my videos, but you always try to get better. I think that's an important idea. So thank you again so much, guys. I really appreciate the support. I've said it a bunch of times, but I really do. I just saw the thumbs up on here. So thank you. I hope everyone stays safe. Have a great long weekend if you're enjoying that. Have a safe long weekend, and have a great and healthy weekend as well. And keep that diet in check. If you're trying to lose weight, keep with the goal, keep with the daily grind. I know it can be tough, but it's definitely worth it. Find what works for you, and then stick with that process. The outcome will come. The outcome will take care of itself, guys. Well, thank you so much, Marilyn. And thank you, Sonia. My pleasure. it's always a pleasure to have you guys in here as well and to do these live streams for you. And thank you for asking your questions, and thank you for sharing that nice story, by the way, Sonia, and with your daughter. I really appreciate that. So everyone have a great, safe day. There'll be another video tomorrow. There should be a live stream. Next one should be on Wednesday. We'll have a nice discussion then. There might be one earlier. If there is, I'll let you guys know, either in my commentary section or in the you guys will see the reminder. So you guys will always be up to date on when there's the next live stream, but I think the next one will be on Wednesday. So thank you so much, guys, again for the support. I will talk to you Wednesday. Again, there'll be a video going up tomorrow on the channel. And then thank you to everyone who's listening to this after I post it up. So have a good one, guys. I will talk to you probably Wednesday next. Stay